Welcome back into another edition of In Depth with Lindenwood Athletics, and we're joined by men's head coach Kyle Gerdeman. Kyle, going into another week, man. You guys get the first one under your belt. Tell me about the win and how you guys felt.
I thought obviously I think just to be out there finally getting to some competition against another team was great. I know our guys were excited about it. And I think overall it was kind of such a long process for a few weeks because we had an exhibition game planned for late October that got canceled because of some COVID issues with the other team. We went through a quarantine phase ourselves, just kind of leading up to our first game. So we kind of got the experience of kind of what the year could look like and kind of went through all that. And then to be able to come out and still play fairly well for the first game, we took a lot of positives away from it.
You guys had a lot of just defensive energy, especially a lot of steals coming out. Melo had a big game. Again, he was a little slow on offense as far as scoring, but he didn't need to score that much. He got 10 rebounds, got a double-double eventually, and a lot of steals. It just shows that the type of guys you guys are recruiting, just a lot of tenacious energy on the defensive side.
I thought those guys, talking about the new guys, talking about Melo, talking about Brandon Suggs, I thought they kind of showed what they can bring to us and kind of why we wanted them. It's funny that Melo got the double-double, and when we recruited him, I remember having a conversation about him, trying to explain to him, what my vision was for him here, and coming from a Division I program, and that was one of the things we talked about was if you're engaged, can you average a double-double? And I think that he probably could. Now that's really hard, it's 10 points, 10 rebounds sounds easy, but it's not. But to see him get off to a good start and bring a lot of energy was great for us.
How did you feel showing up to the arena for the first time ever and seeing no fans on a game day? I mean, it's got to be odd. You had the bench, 6 feet apart on all the seats, something a little different, but how'd you guys get focused like you do on a normal year, and how'd you get your guys focused?
It was strange, and I think the S&T coach, Coach Walker, we kind of bumped hands before the game, and he said, man, I think we knew it was going to be strange, but when you get here and see it now, it's really strange, and it is, and that's the best way you could put it, because you think, it won't be that bad, or there'll still be some noise, or whatever the situation is, and then in reality, it's totally different. But I do think, though, I thought for us maybe the bench is a different deal. You kind of have to worry about your players, are they staying engaged, and you're used to hearing what they talk about and turn around and coach them right there, and then they're spread out. So you have to kind of keep that in mind. But after that, I think once the ball goes up, it pretty much everybody gets to basketball and everybody's back in their comfort zone, and players, coaches, and you're just kind of going at it. There's a lot of times I probably don't hear the crowd if there is one, or you guys kind of just focus on the game. So it kind of goes away at some point, I think.
Yeah, you guys get locked in and it just kind of becomes normal.
Right.
You guys played well. I mean, again, it's for everything that's happened this offseason and losing some time. And again, obviously not just you guys, but a lot of other teams. You can see, the returners did their jobs. The newcomers, you can tell a little bit of rust, but they made their way at the end of the game, just made their presence felt. And, you can show that there's a lot of depth on this team. There's a lot of people that can score and get at it on the defensive side.
Yeah, and I think even right away, I think you're right about the depth because, in reality, we play without Brandon Trimble, who was in COVID protocol. The freshman Devion Harris gets a concussion 2 days before the game, so he goes down. And then Kevin Caldwell gets in early foul trouble. So right away now, we're fortunate to have the added depth because I think in the first game it showed up and we needed it. Where if we wouldn't have had that, it'd have been a different situation. Then you're really, TJ and VJ had great games, but I think having that depth allowed some other guys to make some plays. It allowed, Melo to get 10 points for us offensively, and Anthony Christian to get 8 points. And, even Caldwell, when he was playing, I think finished in double figures with 10. So our depth paid off for us. And I think our depth paid off for us from a conditioning standpoint. I really do. We've put a big emphasis on, trying to play faster, than we did last year. And by that, not necessarily in the half court, but how much faster can we play in transition in the fast break? And I thought we probably, for game one, we're probably about as good as we could be with, constantly trying to run the floor in transition after made shots and missed shots. And I thought that all that wrapped together, really paid off for us.
Yeah, and especially when you have some new guys come in, and like you talked about the little bit of lack of being able to get ready for the season because of COVID. They were flowing well, and you can tell that these guys were already having a lot of great chemistry even through game one.
Yeah, I thought our togetherness offensively, our unselfishness was there right away, and we talk about that all the time. I think from an execution standpoint, probably you could see some first game things where we weren't necessarily pleased about it as a staff. We got a little choppy at times. We got a little too quick at times in the half court. But in general, yeah, I think the concept of what we were trying to do was good enough, and now you try to build on it, you try to improve it. We have some film of somebody besides ourselves that we can really break down and watch it now and shows the the specifics of, hey, we played this ball screen wrong, or hey, our spacing was screwed up on this play, and really get through all those things. So, but in general, I agree. I thought that our ball movement was good. I thought our unselfishness was there, and I thought, in the majority of it, we talk about, trying to take easy shots, whether that's open threes, whether that's taking good layups. And I thought that was really good in the first game setting, that I didn't remember or feel like, boy, we're just taking a bunch of bad shots. And sometimes you can fall into that, and I thought we stayed away from it.
TJ had a fantastic game, GLVC Player of the Week. Nothing new to him. I mean, played great year last year. It's hard when you see a guy like that play. It seemed like at the top of his game last season, and then he somehow finds another level. What can you say about what you saw from him?
Yeah, well, I thought that he did a good job, of maximizing his opportunities. He shot a great percentage, from 2 and from 3, and he's a good free throw shooter. I think he went 8 for 8. So to be that efficient is impressive, because he plays a ton of minutes. And again, in a year where maybe we're probably not in the typical shape we would be for game one, he could still be effective. And I thought he did a really good job of really not forcing a lot of plays. I think that we talked to him after the year ended of, how many times can you just take the best shot you can get, and if it's not there, don't force it. Don't force your way into a bad percentage shot, because at the end that just lowers what you can do, right? And I think that we've added better guys around him to where he shouldn't feel that way, where my tough shot is a better shot than what somebody else might be able to get. So I think he did a great job of that and just found his way through the offense and really had a good all-around game. And the thing that it was challenging for him the last half of the season and will be challenging for him every night is now everybody knows who he is. So he's the top guy on the scouting report. He's going to get the other team's best defender. They're going to try to deny him. And so in the middle of all that, if you're getting your opportunities, great. But if you're not, you still have to stay engaged and bring things to the table. And that's the big challenge for him, moving forward.
And again, it helps with all that depth that you have to help with the scoring. And he's also not a selfish player.
Right.
He finds his teammates, and you guys are successful because of it.
Yeah.
After a game where you go into it with the game plan, you guys get the win, but also getting back on the court was one of the main focuses. Now that you kind of have started the season, what are some things you guys really wanted to focus on this week in practice to get ready for Maryville on Thursday?
Yeah, well, we spend a lot of time, really, I know it seems kind of cliche, but we really spend a lot of time just trying to improve ourselves from day one, and we'll probably be doing the same thing in February. So I think easily being able, like we talked about before, now being able to take game film against a different opponent and now really seeing, every aspect of what we try to work on. How were we in defensive transition? How were we in rebounding, offensively and defensively? How were we in the fast break? And then in the half court, how well did we execute? How was our spacing? How was our shot selection? And so we've really we've gone through it every day. We've watched a little bit of film every day since Friday ended. So we took Saturday off. So starting on Sunday and Monday, and then again today, we've watched film on it, and we've really just tried to focus on those program areas for us and how much better can we get between, last Friday and how much better will we be Thursday night.
What do you guys see from Maryville early? I know you got a couple more days of prep, but what do you expect from them on Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, I expect it's going to be a tough game. They've got a new head coach, that was an assistant at UPSL last year. So I think that, in my mind, you think that, he's going to bring some of those things with him, which I think when I think about UPSL, I think about a really tough team. So, I think that you'll see a tough physical team, a tough defensive team. They've got a veteran point guard that just transferred from Central Missouri State. That's a St. Louis kid. That's a nice player. And then they've got the returner back. The Long kid, who I think had a big game for him in their first game. I think he had 39 points. So he's a guy that we've got to be able to engage one-on-one, and then as an entire team with a lot of focus on him. But I kind of look at the same thing, though, that we were kind of in that same scenario last year of a first-year coach and a brand new program and really a brand new roster. Though you're always excited to go play. And, so those guys, they're not really going to have a high or a low. They won their first game. I'm sure they feel great about it. But, I think in their mind, they're just ready for the next challenge and get out there. So, we know we'll have to be prepared.
Coach, we're looking forward to your guys' first road game. Good luck on Thursday.
Appreciate it. Thank you.